Alright, so my name is Luis Carlos, and this is my final project for my technology class. In this project, I'm going to talk about how I've mastered all 9 key cognitive strategies while using some evidence that I've done in class. Let's start. My first key cognitive strategy is analysis. My first assignment is my ionic versus covalent bonding lab investigation. In my report, I described the experiment and evaluated the data collected. In my conclusion, I compared and contrasted the different observations and published my results. So as you guys can see, here's my lab report and all of the data that I collected and the procedures and the tables, and right here my conclusion is where I did all of my analysis. So my next assignment is my Mandela artist statement. After creating a mandala for my technology class, we were required to write a Mandela artist statement. In this artist statement, we needed to explain the motives and reasons for choosing the pictures that we did. In my artist statement, I evaluated the content which I presented, explained the reasons why I chose the pictures, and summarized how my images represented importance in my life. So here's my Mandela artist statement, and here's where I analyze like the pictures that I chose and why I chose them. Yeah. So my next key cognitive strategy is reasoning, proof, and argumentation. In our technology class, we had a Socratic seminar and an article written about the issue of suicide in the movie Bully. In the Socratic seminar, I used well-reasoned arguments and proof from the article to explain my take on the phenomena on the relationship between suicide and bullying.
My son committed suicide in the closet and I'm still living in that. Like, that's weird.
Well, I disagree with what you're saying because, okay, why do I agree with her and I disagree with her? I agree with her in that in the letter, it is true, when I read the letter, that the part where it says, you think I'm worthless and pathetic, like you, he's talking about his family, not about, and then how Paola, I think in the other conversation touched upon how like it was in there, she didn't mention any bullying. So like, I do agree that like his family might have some fault in it, but I disagree with you in that like the family didn't care because even though like what happened, like it's still their son and like they still saw him grow up, so like of course they're gonna care. In this next piece of evidence, you will see me discussing Andrew Jackson's presidency in the 1800s during an AP U.S. History Socratic seminar. When asked if Jackson's removal of Indian tribes was constitutional or not, I provided a logical explanation of my opinion. So you guys will see. Well, I feel like Jackson, he was really like straightforward with what he was doing. Like, a lot of the things he did, it wasn't really humane, but he had like a purpose. He had like a purpose, and he was gonna get it done, like no matter what. That's page 129. Alright, so this next key cognitive strategy is problem solving. On my solving right triangles assignment, I needed to use basic math like multiplication and division and applied it to complex problems to find missing sides and angles. The use of multiple strategies on problems like these helped me better my problem solving skills. So here's my math assignment, and as you guys see, I used problem solving to find the missing sides and measurements of the triangles. So my next assignment was in chemistry. Chemistry is a class where my problem solving skills are actively working. On our stoichiometry homework, I applied different methods like more ratios and simple math in order to balance the chemical equations. So here's my problem solving skills being put to work, getting asked questions and responding to them, balancing the equations, problem solving at its best. So after problem solving is interpretation. While reading a lesson before dying in my AP literature class, we needed to pick out an important quote from each chapter and interpret it. For all the quotes that I chose, I had to analyze competing and conflicting descriptions of an event or issue in the book and interpret them with a small summary. So here's my reading logs, and as you guys can see, right here it says like what the book says, and then right here is where I interpret it, what I think it meant. Alright, so my next assignment was also in my AP class. We took many tests in preparation for the AP literature test. The test consists of many poems and pieces of text which are followed by questions regarding those poems and text. In this practice test, I synthesized and analyzed the results from the evidence in order to answer the multiple choice problems. So here's the test prep thing, and as you guys can see, the poem, it's on the bottom, and I analyzed the text on the side using my interpretation skills. So up next is intellectual openness. In my AP literature class, I needed to write an essay responding to a man who believes that a drinking license should be implemented here in the United States. In my essay, I disagreed with his argument and questioned his views by supplying my own evidence. So here's my essay, and the guy, his name was Rochester, and he wanted the drinking license, but I talked about how it wouldn't work. So what's the point of making it? My next assignment is an art piece. In my art class, I created a piece regarding political corruption. While making the piece, my art teacher gave me a lot of constructive criticism on things that I could do to make the work better. After revising the piece, it turned out really good. So here's my piece talking about Obama, or the president, is just a puppet of Congress, as you guys can see from the back, and that was my message. So the next cognitive strategy is inquisitiveness. For my Spanish class, we read the immigration reform presented to the U.S. government by the Gang of Eight. We then wrote an essay about our own feelings about the proposal and if we agreed or disagreed with them. In my essay, I did not accept the proposal and researched evidence to defend my arguments, explanations, and reasons. So throughout this whole propuesta, I had to talk about like what they presented and what I feel should have been presented, and I had to do a lot of research, and I just really had to be open-minded about what they were talking about and my reasons for not choosing their reasons. So taking it back to AP US history, in AP US history, we looked at a lot of political cartoons. Political cartoons are more than just a drawing. They express an opinion on a certain topic during an era. In AP US history, I had to seek more than just a drawing and use the evidence found to make my conclusion. So for example, right here, it shows a turtle biting the guy, but in reality, as you guys can say, you see right here, it says, "Oh, the crystal grabbed me." Like the turtle grabbed him, but it's talking about the Embargo Act. It's spelled embargo backwards. So that's the cool thing about political cartoons. So after that is precision and accuracy. I conducted many labs in chemistry this year, but the titration lab really proved my mastery of precision and accuracy. During the experiment, we had to neutralize a sample of acid by adding base through a titration. I had to increase my precision so that I did not add more base than needed. If I would have not been so precise and accurate, the entire experiment and calculations would have been wrong. So here's my titration lab, and I was able to do it right, and all my calculations came out good. Got a pretty decent score, so I'm happy with that. So my next piece is another drawing. This is a drawing that I made for my baby Melissa Ortega. Even though this drawing was just for fun, I had to increase my precision and accuracy because I was using a permanent marker. If I would have not been so precise and accurate, if I wasn't so precise and accurate, a small mistake could have made me start the whole drawing again, and I wouldn't have walked with that. She loved it, by the way. Alright, so second to last is research. So for our final project in AP US history, which I'm presenting tomorrow, or today because you guys are hearing this today, we needed to choose a country in the world and talk about how impacted the country was by the United States and globalization. In my research, I found a lot of information on how the U.S. influenced France, which is a country I had, but I had to evaluate the appropriateness of the variety of source of material that I found. So here's my France presentation, little sneak peek because I haven't even presented yet, and like all the stuff that I talked about how like the U.S. influences France right now, anti-American sentiment in France, pro-American sentiment, and economy, all the good stuff. My next research assignment was my final project for chemistry. We were given a energy source which we had to research and present to the class. In the presentation, we needed to discuss how our source of energy would be the best replacement for the current source of energy that we have in the U.S. right now, which is fossil fuels. Again, I had to evaluate the appropriateness of the sources that I found and incorporate them to my presentation. So this was a group assignment, and I was in charge of economics. So as you guys see, here's the info that I put and all the info that I found about the economics of solar energy and how it compares to fossil fuels. And last but not least is writing. This is a key cognitive strategy that I use a lot. In preparation for senior year, my AP literature teacher made us write personal statements that we could then use to apply for colleges next year. In this assignment, I had to be very descriptive and persuasive so that the grader grading my essay would consider me accepting me to their college. So here's my personal statement, and I just wrote about my life trying to get accepted to college, the good stuff. And my last assignment for writing is my grandfather's immigration story. This assignment, I did it in Spanish, and this really proved my mastery of writing. I had to do a lot of interviewing and had to write an expository and persuasive essay that reflected my grandfather's story in coming to this country. And yeah, like this concludes my presentation. I really hope you guys liked it. And gracias a Dios que ya acabé. And I'm very excited.
Seniors excited.
Very excited. We're seniors. The shinkwheel.